Welcome back. So we have a new package, and this should be our little oil cooler again from Kitaco. Like they normally do, it looks like we got some pretty nice Chinese instructions there. Alright, so we got some pictographs. Not the best looking instructions, but what else have we got in the box? So we've got our banjo bolts, washers, have one length of hose. We'll see where they go. There must be some different type of covers for us. A little bit of hardware for, it looks like a mounting bracket, some cap head screws, and some hose clamps for our oil cooler. Bear with me while I open the oil cooler. Hey, that was very nice of him. I only ordered a 3-euro cooler. It's the guy from Moto Mods, big shout out to him, sent me a 5-euro oil cooler for the same price. Thank you very much, Moto Mods, but I know he is closing down. Let's see how it all fits up. Okay, let's get this oil cooler going. So, first thing to notice is there's a recessed edge here. These are flush at the front. This is the back. This is the front. Let's get the inlet and outlet going. Banjo's on. So I've noticed when I've been putting this kit together, I'm missing a couple of grommets somewhere when it comes to the supports, so I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with the missing one. I have to try and find some somewhere, but that's a future me problem. So I'm just going to cover these up because I'm going to be doing a fair bit of grinding and mucking around with other parts today, so I definitely don't want to be getting as much debris in the oil cooler, so I'm just going to make sure that they're closed up. Don't worry, we'll tighten these up later. We're just doing an assembly for how it's going to fit up on the bike. So this goes on the back, and we have we've got 2 screws that we got here, 1 and 2 coming in this way. So we're going to go washer and the rubber dampener, and that little grommet fits in behind the rubber dampener. Oops, I'm missing the washer on the other side. That's what the instructions say anyway. So I'll tighten these all up a little bit later just to nip them up. We don't have them too tight though, so that's the idea of having the little rubber grommets there, to be able to take a little bit of slack for it. So the next part for how this fits onto the valve cover, so it's going to be the valve cover that's at the top of the motor. This one's the valve cover for the bottom. Simply is that valve cover lines on, and then this is just replaces your standard valve cover. You will have to take the O-ring out of your original to put this one on. So for now I'm going to leave the grommet off because I don't have 2 and the spacing will be out. And Kitaco 5-row oil cooler, that's kind of all there is to it, short of when we connect the inlet and outlet lines a little bit later on, but that's going to wait a while because I'm moving the turbo on my one. So the oil lines are a little bit different from what you'd be doing if you were just running it for some oil cooling. You might notice I got a little intercooler over there. We'll be playing around with that in another video. So, in a nutshell, Kitaco 5-row oil cooler. That's all there is to it. So next step, I've already loosened off the 8mm valve cover bolts. So there's one here, one here. You can see this one's been modified for the oil return line. When I had my turbocharger there, just the guys at Full Blown Motorsports said running it back to the crankcase dipstick wasn't good enough, so they said you should put it back into the valve cover, which made no difference, hence where I've drilled and tapped and put a small nipple in. So I've already gone ahead and robbed the O-ring that's in here to put into the Kitaco oil cooler. So you can see that just gently press that in there and it's been wiped clean. So I still haven't tightened this up, just so I can have a bit of wiggle room while I fit it up. And I can already see that that step should be done before, so let me just pause the video and take this off. But all I'm going to be doing is putting in the cap head screws, the new ones that Kitaco have supplied, just in case they're different thickness, which it looks like they are because it's a bit thicker. And then I'm going to attach the oil cooler. Okay, so I've just taken off that one screw, so you didn't have to sit there and watch me doing that for a couple of seconds. Should give me enough access to get that cap head screw in there. Or 8mm. Maybe not. So I'm just gonna leave that there for 2 seconds. If this is killing you, it's also killing me. Thanks for your patience. So I don't have a torque for these, but I remember like the breakout torque for it wasn't really significant. At a guess, it'd be like tens of Newton meters. I'm just gonna nip that up because I will have to modify that to put an oil return line there, I suspect, in the future. So I'm not gonna go through and do any final torque on it just yet. This is just for a fit up for where I'm going to run my intercooler and piping next. And there's my lovely border collie who's just coming in because she loves motorbikes. That was really lucky. I'll move that oil pan. She loves motorbikes. So that's a loose fit up. So if this is all you're doing for your bike now and you already had the Kitaco clutch cover, you've got the oil outlet from the pump that you can then run to your cooler, and then the outlet from the cooler to run back into the inlet to the clutch cover, and then this then goes on to the oil filter.